Okay, so the question is this. As a filmmaker, when and how should I hire a film composer? And when should I resort to royalty-free music? It depends on the project, so let's create a few scenarios and go from there. Let's shoot the biggie first, feature films. If you're making an independent feature film, for goodness sakes, hire a film composer. Why wouldn't you? Why would you spend all that time and money and not have an original score? Oh yeah, the cost. Well, there is that, but nothing should stop you from pitching your film to a composer, along with what you can offer. I'll tell you a little secret. Many starting composers will gladly score your film in exchange for an IMDb credit and new material for their portfolio. The reason is many of the good paying jobs will require up to 10 IMDb composer credits before even considering a composer for the job. Now, I'm not saying to not offer them any money or hold out until you can get a pro bono. I'm simply saying that you have leverage. That is the facts. Here's some more. Scoring a feature film is quite time consuming. Not only does the composer have to write the music, but he also has to edit it, record it down, screw up the mix a few times over, and then eventually master it a few times. And that process is applied to each music track. In the end, the composer may spend an equal amount of time on the score as you would on the entire film. You owe this man your respect. A professional composer can write somewhere around 2 minutes of music per day, depending on how many instruments are being commanded. Now, add a day for editing, a day for mixing, and a day for mastering, and we are looking at about 4 days' work for every 2 minutes of original music, on average. I'll let you do the math on how much you should be paying them and also encourage you to consider what the turnaround time might be for a part-time composer. Don't forget about the equipment, strings, instruments, everything he's going to buy just to be able to do your score. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars for those goodies. A composer is not only a very valuable asset to a film, but he's an investor, and he should be treated as so. Now, can it be done faster? Yes. That's why many working composers use templates and write with the same orchestra every time, because producers are cheap. Don't take offense, I'm one of them. It comes with the territory. The trick is knowing where to spend the little money we have. Templates will speed up the process immensely, but the uniqueness of the score will suffer. It will. Don't let the composer argue with that. It will have a box sound whether he is willing to admit that or not. You have to decide whether the orchestra in a box is worth it or not. Consult your composer. Contact me if you need another opinion. I might even care to respond to you. But generally, an independent film is not going to be an epic and will not need a massive boxed orchestra. In most cases, I recommend building from scratch a small orchestra that can be unique and more intimate, and use real instruments if you can. Be prepared to set aside a small budget for music and also to discuss up a contract with a share of profits for the composer. After all, he is investing into your film. It's respectful and creates a team member out of the composer rather than just a hirement. That's not a word, but you heard it here first. Call it 10%. Remember to agree on 10% profit, though, not gross income. That would be not smart. Besides a composer, you may want to have actual songs in your film. I don't recommend purchasing royalty-free stock music for a feature film, ever. Don't do that. The reason is that you don't get anything other than the music. You pay $50 for a song that isn't worth $1 on iTunes. That's it. Bleh. Instead, if you were to contact 10 of those hardworking, popular independent artists with 10,000 plus fans each in their social media networks, you might not hurt the popularity of your film. That's 100,000 possible consumers of your product with huge potential for word of mouth. Providing you work out a decent marketing plan involving the artist, you can't lose from that arrangement. Plus, now you have an opportunity to sell the soundtrack, cross-promote, and share profit with your new business partners. You can place their music where needed without stepping on the composer's toe-toes, too. I got that word from my mom. You don't need to play the whole track. Just pop in 10 seconds of the track to fill in the occasional void. The composer will have less work, and will still receive full credit for scoring the film on IMDb. However, IMDb will not allow multiple composer credits on the same film. So don't try it, at least as of now. Also, choose the most relatively themed songs and allow the artist to have the rights to create an official music video for your movie, including footage from the film. Here's your chance to network and work with new cinematographers from other cities. That's good. Makes great bonus DVD materials too. Moving on, the ever popular short films, which really don't do much more than earn some XP for your biological character, are a great avenue for a beginning composer to test the waters. Whether the composer is like me, has written thousands of musical pieces, or a complete noob, writing music for visual media is quite the restricting difference from freely writing whatever seems to come flying out of the hole of inspiration at a given time. All composers will, at some point, be made aware of this. You most definitely want a composer that is aware. Score the audience, not the visuals. Interview the composer through Skype. Find out if they know something or nothing. Let them do some talking, but generally, if the composer's music is impressive, they won't butcher your film. It just takes time and the right communication to get the right piece. It will still be better than the stupid stock music. It will have a consistent flavor to it that is a product of that composer and his relationship with the film. Remember, you're the manager of the project here. You run the film. Try not to judge a man by his lack of communication skills. Composers aren't usually the social horse of the Chinese zodiac. We're more usually like the sheep. Bah! I can't believe I just did that. But don't be the director who treats the composer like an actor. Having all 200 of them who respond to your ad or write a 30-second piece of music to try out. Audition. Whoever came up with that idea is less than brilliant. You're lazy. It's total hit or miss and not necessary. You're only going to get boxed orchestra, and it's not doing you any good. These composers have music libraries. Listen to what they have. Narrow it down to 2 or 3 with the style that you like. Then decide based on who you would enjoy working with. If they are a good composer, which they likely are at this point, they're going to get the job done and you should be happy. Each composer is going to do something different no matter what you do. And catch a composer on a different day and he'll give you a different product. Art is a product of the moment. When choosing a composer, don't be fooled by the wicked awesome dubstep and electronic music tracks, which is often just random copy paste, and they probably even downloaded their audio files. Songwriting is even much different. Crafting a song is much different than scoring a film. Do choose a composer who is experienced in the genre of music you are leaning towards. Obviously, a metalhead isn't likely going to give you the jazz sound you're looking for, but also don't just choose a musician and ask him to score the film. You need a film composer, not a musician. They are respectively different. There's things that you need to learn as a musician to become a film composer. And I'm not saying don't give a guy a chance. If you want to give a guy a chance, give a guy a chance. Be open to what the composer might suggest, but stay in control. Communicate with him. Share your goals, ideas, come together on a plan, execute, and smile your stupid head off when he starts sending you music tracks. It's fun. If you don't like something for a scene, it's okay to discuss that with him. In fact, it is needed. Do it respectfully. Most of the time, it's simply a lack of communication. You have to define what the audience needs to experience and also get the style you want. Do that together and allow him to rewrite it. It takes a few cracks sometimes. Don't just catch yourself being hooked on your temporary music, the temp music that you used during the editing process. Let that go. Stop listening and comparing to it. It's clouding your weak mind. As far as song placement goes with a short film, again, stay away from stock music here, but having one single popular artist will most definitely create some hype around your short while giving you some new materials for your portfolio. You can create an official music video for the short as well, and that's just darn good fun for everyone. Don't pass it up. So you have 48 hours. Go. Don't even bother with a composer. He's just another dummy to manage, and all he is going to do is hold up the project and cause the sound and video editors to rush even more than they are already. If anything, use them as a music supervisor. Here's where you need a music library for quick placement. Research those. Be ready. Search and place them during the editing process. $100 should cover all of the important placements. Use the free ones for the less important. Mission accomplished. If you're brave enough to do a web series, the project will definitely benefit from placing music from popular artists again. We're networking here, people. It's a good thing. You can feature an artist for each episode, thus expanding your audience as well as the artist audience. Beyond that, it would be important to carry a theme throughout the series. This flavors your product and is rather important if you want to hook your audience. I would hire a film composer to create some themes that could be used in the opening credits, the end credits, and a few more repeating themes to be placed throughout the film. Keep the composer locked in, but update the theme seasonally, if you know what I mean, keeping it fresh. Then have the composer score just the parts that he would really be needed for. For instance, the final scene of the season finale, or an important turning point in the series. Wow, you've made it so far. So, if you're making a feature film, a composer plus 10 popular independent music artists equals a win. If you're making a short film, a composer plus 1 popular independent music artist equals win. If you're part of a 48-hour film project, this is the time for royalty-free music placement. Use the composer as a music supervisor. If you're brave enough to be shooting a web series here, a composer plus 1 or more popular independent artist per episode equals total win in that scenario, and good luck to you on that. Most web series that I hear about usually end up being a short film. If you can accomplish a web series, you have my respect. You have my respect anyways, though. That's a wrap. I sincerely hope this brings some clarity and ideas to my fellow producers and directors by seeing through the eyes of someone who is both a film composer and a producer. Expect to find more of my senseless ramblings and bloggings at adamspade.com. That's ADAMSPADE.com. Be good to each other. Happy filmmaking to all and to everyone else. Enjoy your real jobs. Remember to always dream big, keep it real, and make it happen. I'm Adam Spade. Take care of yourselves.